Hello. It says I'm live, but it's still not showing up. So, there it is. It is Friday, after the day after American Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I don't have my really high bright light on. I just have the overhead lights on today. So that's why it looks a little different. Let's see here. I am working on a cotton cone, and I thought I'd see how many different things can I make out of it, because I got into it the other day just because I was bored. So I haven't sewn in any ends, but this is the first project that I worked on. So this is a mitered square, and I knit it using 4mm needles. This is I think I started with like 60 stitches and then decreased down from there. When I got done, I decided this just isn't quite big enough. So the next one I had on the live last night, and it's this one. And this one is it's quite a bit larger. It is an 80 stitch mitered square, and it's more like what I would consider a washcloth or a dishcloth size. Um, the next thing that I made, I went on to Passionate Kelsey's website, Passionate Goods, and I had purchased some of her patterns, and so it's not going to fit me. I just was trying out the smallest size just to see what it would look like. Um, and I did one of her tops. I think this is the Valerie top, but I could be wrong. But I need to sew in my ends for that. Um, so now I'm working on a what's going to be a little coin purse. And then after that, I'm not too sure what I'm going to make. I may make another top, or I may try and find a different style of bag that I want to make, or maybe I'll make a bandana, or I don't know, um, or some more like washcloths. Um, I just kind of wanted to see how many things I could make out of one cone, as well as like what things would look like. I don't typically use this type of cotton for tops. However, it's what Passionate Kelsey uses, and so seeing as how that's what she uses, I thought, well, you know, I'll get into it and start messing. My favorite thing, of course, is Karen cotton cakes, because they are um, part cotton and part acrylic. You can throw them in the normal wash, throw them in the dryer, and they come out perfect every time. Um, this type of yarn, you're gonna want to wash it on cold, and you're gonna want to lay it flat to dry. Um, you're gonna want to wash it with light colors because it could bleed. But realistically, it's not as bad as I remembered. Um, some of the stuff that I used to use, the Lily's sugar and cream and stuff, it was really not nice. This is a lot better. It's not as easy to split, which is nice for me. What else? I have this type of yarn in a bunch of different colors. I also have some Bernat cotton. Here we go. Bernat Handicrafter cotton, and it's basically the same thing. it just was prettier colors. Um, so I brought a couple of things up so I could kind of work with this different type of cotton because I haven't messed with this stuff in probably 5 or 6 years. Um, I bought it. I liked it when I bought it. Haven't used it. So I was thinking that now would be a good time to kind of, since I'm trying to use up what I have and make things that maybe can be gifts for people or just items that we can have around the house. Um, I already have a box that's almost full of stuff. But just going to keep adding and adding. I have more boxes that are empty because I bought more boxes. Um, so I'd have empty boxes to put stuff in because I still have not emptied out any one yarn container. I have a couple of them that I'm getting close to having them emptied out. And I'm really excited about that. But it's still going to take me time to get through um, what I have. And even when I get them emptied out, I'm just going to start putting finished projects in them. Um, I don't know if you guys saw, but Mandy Von Knits put out a really nice video this week. I mean, she always does impeccable work. Um, so if you want to slide over there later on and check that out, that'd be awesome. I know that Crochet Vision is live right now. Um, but you could always go over and watch the rerun or watch me on the rerun. She's doing her Black Friday sale, and it's pretty. I hope it goes really well for her. I have not jumped on yet to see what is going on with her stream. What else? We had quite a surprise this morning. We ended up with 2 visitors, 2 dogs in our backyard that we were not expecting. Mom found them. Well, Humphreys found them, is what it is. Humphreys wanted to go outside, so he went outside with Bella, and he just wouldn't stop barking. So then Mom went out and realized that there were not stray dogs, but there were 2 dogs without collars that were outside the fence, and they wanted in. So she put our dogs in the house, and then she went out and opened the gate to see if they would come in. And the chocolate lab came right on in. He was like, "Oh yes, I need to be. I need to be with humans." And the golden was a little bit more reserved until he saw that the chocolate was very happy coming in, and then he came in too. Um, and so they were in our backyard for a little bit, over an hour. And then Mom went out walking because I'd called animal control, but I didn't, since they didn't have collars on, I didn't know which vet to even start calling to be like, hey, we have these animals. However, the owner was kind of going down one of the streets, and Mom waved him down because he just seemed like he was going slow and his windows were down. So Mom thought he might be looking for the dogs, and he was. So he came on down, and as soon as the dogs saw him, they were so ecstatic. They were just like, oh, we're going home with Daddy. So I'm glad that we found the owner and they got to go home because I was really worried. I knew I couldn't bring him in the house with Humphreys because even though he's a lot smaller than those 2 dogs, he'd have tried to start a fight because he's a very reactive dog. Um, and that would not have gone well. I'm very glad that we found that owner. Humphreys was very, very worried because both mom and I spent time outside with those dogs. And he just was extremely worried about us and worried about those dogs and what are those dogs doing. And he had to check out the yard several times after they left. And he really had to give mom and I the once over several times. Um, but he calmed down after they were gone, and he's much happier now. Um, but yeah, we that was our commotion today. Tomorrow, I get to go to a small business fair in town, and I'm hoping to meet someone else who does crochet and knitting. She has a booth there, and I would like to meet her and talk to her. She lives in Burns, which really isn't that far from us, and it's on the way to my aunt's house. And so I thought, I'd talk to her, and maybe we could meet up sometime. Um, and just have like a stitch and gritch um, session where we can just talk and knit or crochet or whatever. What else? There was a coffee place in town, here in town, that was very kind, Dutch Bros, and they ran a campaign for the nonprofit that I work for, and they were able to to make a donation to Uplift of like $1,500, which is just massive for us. And I am so thankful that businesses out there um, have been kind and have been looking out for Uplift this year. Um, Especially the last probably 24 months or so, there's been businesses out there that will all of a sudden donate to us. We had a church donate when we were not expecting it. We run our own fundraisers with other like state organizations, but it's always hard to get um, donations, especially when they find out, because on a lot of the times when we do our like fundraisers is also at the same time when like the animal shelter and some of the animal rescues are doing in the hospital are all doing their fundraising, and it's difficult to get people to donate to to an organization that helps special needs kids and their families over instead of donating to like the animal rescues or the animal shelter or a local hospital or the cancer center. And I didn't think when I first started working with Uplift that it would be that difficult to do the fundraising, but it really is. Um, or at least it has been since I've been working there. We're grateful for any and all donations. We are, um, like I said, a small nonprofit. We work with the school districts in Wyoming, but we also work with the families and the children, specifically making sure that the children are getting what they need. Um, because sometimes you have to advocate for those kids and those families. And that's what Uplift is here to do. We work with PIC, who is another nonprofit organization that the Parent Information Center, that they also work with families. So It's hard work for our people that actually work one-on-one with the families, but it's also rewarding work. And, you have to have a love and a drive for the kids and the families. Um, and usually we, hire people um, that are raising or have raised children, um, with diagnoses, because if you've had a child go through it, you understand the system better. You understand what it's like to be the parent of that child. Um, and no one wants to be the parent of that child, and no child wants to be that child. Um, so it's an interesting place to work. I really enjoy working for Uplift. I enjoy working for my boss. I enjoy working for the board. I enjoy trying to help in any way I can. Um, Uplift has been just a blessing in my life, and I am eternally grateful to my boss for hiring me. Um, it's been a wonderful experience, and I continue to learn as we go on, um, as we keep doing the work the best that we can. Um, and I know that it's hard for all nonprofits, not just for us, but we really struggle to get donations. Um, and we like to partner with other organizations because we're not the only one that's, at times struggling. Um, but it is a wonderful place to work. I just love my bosses. Um, in fact, one of the plant that the my boss's plant at work was not doing well, so I brought it home to the plant guru, and I think it's doing better. Mom's trying to get it to stabilize and get the roots growing again. Um, and once we get it stabilized to where it's good again, I'm gonna just take it to my boss's house. Um, that way it's won't be too hot. The funny thing is that our work right now is um, it's quite warm in the building. Um, the last couple of years it was chilly, and now it's really warm. Um, which isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It just is what it is. You have to dress. I have to dress for what the weather's going to be like inside. So I tend to dress in layers when I go to work because I get hot. Um, and cold, but usually I get hot this year. So I don't know what you guys are working on. Um, this particular bag that I'm working on is just a single crochet bag. Um, and it honestly is going to be just big enough to put your cell phone and wallet in. Um, we have some people coming for Frontier Days, and that's kind of our that not kind of that is our really big um, celebration in our town. When I was growing up, the merchants used to always say that we have two seasons: Christmas and Frontier Days. Um, and I really hope that the merchants in our area can, survive. We've had several that have pulled out. Big Lots closed, Jack's is closing. Um, we have a couple of the smaller stores moving to different locations, because rentals in the area that they're at, are just getting too expensive for their, what they can make in that location. And that's the hard part about our town, I think, for people opening businesses in our town. Because if it's like a franchise, they want you to be on or close to Del Range, which is one of the biggest. Um, it's one of the most traveled um, roads in town. The road that I live on is one of the main roads, and then another street over is another of the main roads, and they both end up running into um, Del Range, um, out by our airport, which isn't very far from us. And it's expensive to have a store or anything over there on Del Range. Rent is really, really high. And even downtown rents have gotten higher. We moved to a location a couple years ago that is still on one of the kind of sort of main roads in town, but it's a ways from downtown, and it's a really nice building. We're in a locked area. Um, it was a building that was owned by architects, and they designed all the little offices and everything. So it's really a nice place for us to be. Our sign is out on the window, and it's pretty well known in our community, because there's a lot of businesses that that are in there that are doing well. Like our what's it called? Wyoming Legal Aid is in there, and the realtor's office is in there. Disabled Veterans of America are in there. I'm trying to think. There's quite a few organizations in there. Um, and it's just a really nice, well-built building, well-maintained. We're in the locked area where the property manager works, so I get to run into him quite a bit. He's a nice guy. My mom went to school with his brother. Um, I think it was high school, but don't quote me on that, because my mom went to high school at one high school, and then my aunt went to another high school, and that high school is the one that I graduated from. And well, actually, four of my cousins graduated from that high school too. Um, but now their kids are graduating from another high school, which is south. So it's the town's growing and things are changing, because we used to have junior high schools and now they're called middle schools. Um, but it's basically the same thing as what it was when I went through there. Um, which is kind of nice because, there's people that I went to school with that are like um, on the city council or on the county board of commissioners. Um, Even though we're the capital city of Wyoming, it's a small town. Um, realistically, it's a small town. We are right around like 70,000 for in town, and then in the county, I think it's like just under 100,000. Um, but our county actually includes, I think, 4 other towns besides the city. Um, our county's pretty big. At least it seems like it to me. But I'm not a big city kind of person. We have to travel to Denver a lot for my appointments. And I always take knitting or crochet with me, even if I don't get to work on it. I always take something with me. Kind of helps make me feel better. Um, and I just, I don't know. On one hand, there's places down in Denver that I would just love to go see and spend some time. But the truth is, I don't want to live down there. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time down there because there's just so many people. And that's why they have so many things, different attractions. Um, so it's been quite a experience driving down there and driving. Well, I don't drive anymore, but going down there and coming back. There's a yarn store that's in Longmont, which is kind of down by one of my cousins, and I would really like to go see that one. Um, don't know if we'll get to do that anytime soon, but if we do, I will surely tell you all about it. Um, I see that I have another person in here. My name is Jamie, and I'm a knitter and crocheter from Cheyenne, Wyoming. I am doing lives every day from now until New Year's Eve. I don't have them scheduled as to what time they'll be for the most part, except for Saturdays. Saturdays, I am doing my lives at 1 o'clock, and I will continue that um, after the new year. Um, if you don't mind hitting the like and the subscribe, I'm glad that you're here. Um, It keeps telling me that my chat is disabled, and then it says that it's successfully reconnected. So I don't know if you've said anything in the chat, but hello, hello. I'm working on a small bag that is going to be basically just large enough for someone to put their wallet and their cell phone in. I'm kind of thinking about Frontier Days because when you go up to Frontier Days, you don't want to be carrying a whole bunch of stuff with you because A, when you go through security, they have to check through everything. And B, it gets hot and heavy lugging that stuff up there. And they won't let you bring in like your outside drinks. They won't let you bring in like outside food because, of course, they've got vendors there that sell all kinds of stuff. They have an Indian village where folks, I believe they come down actually from the reservation outside of um, Riverton here in Wyoming that do dances, and they have little exhibitions, and they have stalls where you can go around and purchase things. What else? During CFD, we have the parades on Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. We have the pancake breakfast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday, the big attraction is that we have the air show, and they bring in the United States Thunderbirds. Um, which we get to hear them because we don't live very far from the airport, so we know when they've come in. Um, and we don't live that far from where most of the Frontier Days stuff happens up at the fairgrounds. I guess I shouldn't call them the fairgrounds anymore because the fair isn't there anymore. But up at the CFD grounds, they do rodeos and they do night shows. They have like bull rider nights. Um, None of that stuff is really interesting to me, but it brings in, people from the outside, and that's always good. Um, what else can I talk about? Well, I haven't talked to her for a little bit, but I think that one of my aunts is going to be coming from Mississippi with her friend to go to Frontier Days this year. Well, in 2025. I'm already projecting. Um, and I'm going to be so excited to see her and get to give her a hug. I wish that we lived closer to her, or that we could like teleport or something. Um, but it doesn't work that way because there's a lot of people that I would like to see, when I'm having a really good day, just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna pop over and see so and so," but they live a long ways away, and I don't do well in car rides, especially not long ones, because it just kinda aggravates everything. Um, what else? Already told you about the dogs. Um, we had a wonderful Thanksgiving yesterday. My mom and her gentleman caller came. Well, mom lives here with me, but he came over and we all had lunch together. And it was just really nice. No yelling, no talking politics, no talking religion, just the three of us enjoying a meal together, which was really nice. And I felt bad because my aunt and her husband weren't feeling too good. A different aunt, my mom's sister. Um, but it was just really nice for the three of us to sit down and have a meal. Um, I'm kind of hoping that Christmas is quiet too. I really enjoyed Thanksgiving with mom, and I'm looking forward to Christmas. I about blew it with my mom. I about told her something that I bought her for Christmas. And then after we'd been talking for a few minutes, I realized my mistake and I shut up about it. Cause it's like, oh Lord. I didn't want mom to know what I bought her. Um, because I got her I kind of went overboard this year a little bit. But she doesn't buy stuff for herself. She doesn't do things for herself. And so I just at Christmas time, that's a time for me to be able to give her things that she won't give herself. Um, and that's important to me because she takes care of me. She takes care of the dogs. She does so much. She's not Wonder Woman, but she sure tries. Like I walked into the kitchen today and I thought I was losing my mind a little bit because the refrigerator was looking different. And actually, it looks what she's done with the refrigerator, taking all of grandma's stuff off. It looks so good. But I couldn't tell if it had been gone for a while and I was just now noticing or if it had just gone away today. So I had to ask mom because sometimes I'm kind of oblivious about stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it'll hit me that something's changed. Um, but mom cleaned up the refrigerator and it looks the outside of it and it looks so nice. Grandma was one of those people that just held on to everything. And so it was nice that mom felt good enough to be able to get rid of that stuff that we don't really need. Um, and it's weird, but it makes the kitchen feel like it's way more open. I know that sounds odd, but it really does. Um, so it was really nice, a really nice surprise when I walked in there. Um, else? I don't know what else I'm going to make with this cone of cotton, but I will come up with something because I still got quite a bit left. I was thinking that I wouldn't after watching Kelsey because I think she can get maybe 2 market bags out of a cone, or was it a mark? Yeah, or was it 2 tops? I don't remember. I think she can get 2 tops out of a cone and maybe like a bag and a half. That's Passionate Kelsey. Pasioknit, and then Kelsey. Um, I've talked about her before. Just like I've talked about Mandy Von Nitz. I just love all the stuff that Mandy's been doing, and she just has been progressing as a knitter and crocheter and as a vlogger, um, and a content creator. She is just so awesome to watch. And I think I've talked about this before, but on Mandy Von Knit's YouTube channel, if you watch her channel, her YouTube videos, and then you comment on that week's video, it puts you in the drawing for a pattern. Um, I don't think she's writing patterns right now, but she'll like purchase a pattern for you. That it has to be within like a specific dollar amount, which makes sense because you know everybody is, I think, kind of feeling the crunch, or at least some of us are. But it's really nice that she's doing that. Um, so if you haven't gone over and liked her channel, when I jump off, you might want to go over there and like her channel and follow and watch the latest video. Because you have until like probably Saturday night or early Sunday morning to put your comment down, and then she does the random comment picker on Sunday, and that's when she films her next video. And she posts her videos every Tuesday. And she also has a kind of a long section that she started doing where she's introducing her viewers to like different patterns that she's interested in and different ideas, and different designers, different types of construction. Um, so she's really, really into sharing, what she's found and what she thinks is neat or cool, or that she'd like to work up, or she thought that the viewers might like. Um, so I really like watching Mandy, and I love watching Kelsey, and I like watching Sarah on Crochet Vision. I also will watch Ruth of Ruth Loves to Knit. Um, yeah, I'm getting back into really liking watching knitting and crochet stuff. There for a while during the summer, I just really stopped. Um, it wasn't something that I could spend my energy on. However, now that we're back in the season, I am very, very, very much um, into watching and listening to what other people are doing. Um, I've started making scrunchies kind of like Kelsey does. I'm not selling them, but I'm making stuff for plans that I have later on. Because you never know when the young cousins are going to come and, we need gifts, or when we have a surprise birthday that we didn't know about, or just, maybe somebody passed and we want to give something to the family. I want to have stuff built up so that we have things that we can utilize that aren't just blankets or just hats. I mean, those are good too, but it's also good to have other stuff. Um, I use all different types of crochet hooks, and it really doesn't matter to me what type of crochet hook I use. Um, However, when it comes to knitting, I don't like knitting with anything but my chow goose. Um, and yes, I realize that they're a little bit more, they're more expensive. Um, but I've had mine basically since I started knitting, or within a couple months of me starting knitting, and they are absolutely my favorite. I have tried other brands. I have, bought stuff that's less expensive. Um, and I'm definitely a metal needle girl. I do not like wood. I do not like bamboo. Um, but when it's knitting, it has to be specific. But when I'm crocheting, I think because I have, I have stuff that my great grandmother gave me. I have stuff that I bought at like Goodwill. I just use whatever hook is handy and I'll make it work. Um, I don't have any one hook or one style of hook. I use metal and plastic. I will not use any type of wood or bamboo crochet hooks because, again, I don't like that. It pulls too much when you're trying to move the yarn. And I like my yarn to just slide, and it slides on metal and it slides on plastic. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that's normal for people that have crocheted and then went on to knitting. I know that a lot of the crocheters that I watch and I follow, they are like either it has to be a clover or it has to be a oh dear, my brain. But they'll have a specific type of hook or specific brand, and they won't use anything but that brand. And that's fine because in my knitting, that's how I am. Um, but when I crochet, I just need a hook and yarn. I don't need any specific hook. I have some that I like to work with more often than not, but I'm not. I don't have to have them to knit, and they're actually two different One is a boyd and one is a boil. And frankly, to me, it doesn't matter. I do like the lighted hooks. There it is. There you can kind of see that it's lit up. I don't usually use the light on it, but I do like the grip on it. I do like this. This sets real nice in my hand. I do use a knife grip, but it's I don't know. Other than really liking this shape of a handle, I'll use any of the ones that I have. But yeah, it's been a good day for me, and I hope that it's been a good day for you too. I like to say my little mantra at the end of my videos. I'm not just reminding you, I'm reminding myself. I'm reminding my dog, I'm reminding my mom, I'm reminding all of us. Remember that you are wanted, you're needed, and you're loved. Please be kind to everyone, including yourself. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.